Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Monday, October 17th. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Neighbors are raising concerns over safety after a high-speed police chase on a residential street over the weekend. Tire tracks, police tape, and other property damage can be seen on Randolph Street in the Armdale neighborhood of HRM. Police say around 2:45 Sunday afternoon, officers spotted a vehicle that had been reported stolen in Pictou County. The driver was heading into the city on Old Sambro Road. They tried to stop the driver, but he drove away and was later seen on Randolph Street, a cul-de-sac. HRP says officers blocked the vehicle in and attempted to arrest the lone occupant, but the driver repeatedly rammed the stolen truck into two police cars, causing damage and then caused damage to nearby lawns by driving over them. The driver took off again and drove down Towerview Drive, where the vehicle became wedged between a building and a fence. But how Halifax Regional Police handled everything caused concern for people who live in the neighborhood where the chase went down.
I'm concerned that Halifax Regional Police doesn't have any clarity around what their policies actually are with engaging in high-speed chase. It's only because I teach criminology that I know how many fatalities happen across Canada and the United States because of police engagement in high-speed chases. And, my concern is that they have reported and they've let us know that they arrested someone for stealing a vehicle. But as far as I'm concerned, the life of my neighbors and my child who plays on that street on a regular basis, because there's no sidewalks, we don't have sidewalk infrastructure in a lot of the neighborhood, their lives are more important than apprehending someone who stole the truck.
A series of tweets state there was a high risk to children who are often seen playing in the area. Residents question whether the chase posed a higher threat than the suspect himself.
Because the security footage has focused so much on the crash that happened on Randolph Street, I'm hoping that folks report on the fact that they did actually drive through an elementary school field next to a playground, which I think is one of the most shocking things that did happen was, the decision to pursue a suspect through an elementary school and a playground on a weekend afternoon when there were children present.
A 39-year-old man was arrested in the incident and was scheduled to appear in Halifax Provincial Court today on numerous charges. Two Halifax police officers sustained minor injuries during the incident. Flu shots are now available in Nova Scotia. The influenza vaccine can be booked starting today, free for all Nova Scotians over 6 months old, with appointments starting this Saturday, October 22nd. Dr. Robert Strang, Nova Scotia's Chief Medical Officer of Health, held a press conference today to speak about this year's influenza vaccination campaign.
Some people say that they never get sick or they'll be okay if they get influenza, and that may be true for them. But we know it's not true for everyone. We continue to see an increase in respiratory illness in 2022 that we haven't seen in the last couple of years of the pandemic, especially in children. And in the Southern Hemisphere, who are entering their spring, just coming out of their flu season, they had early and substantial surges of influenza, again with a focus on children.
Public Health says all Nova Scotians are encouraged to get the influenza vaccine, especially those at high risk. People 5 and older can safely get the flu shot before, after, or even at the same time as receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. As a precaution, kids 6 months to 4 years need to wait 14 days between receiving their flu and COVID vaccines. The COVID-19 monthly data report has been released for September. Public Health is reporting a total of 4,664 positive PCR results, 205 hospitalizations, and 14 deaths from COVID-19 during the month of September. The number of positive PCR tests, hospitalizations, and deaths decreased in September compared to August. Unvaccinated Nova Scotians were hospitalized at almost 3 times the rate and died at 3 times the rate as those with 3 or more doses. The Windsor Fire Department commemorated the 125th anniversary of the Great Windsor Fire yesterday. The 1897 fire destroyed much of the town's downtown sector, leaving upwards of 2,500 people homeless and left more than $2 million in damage. SaltWire's Carol Morris Underhill has more on yesterday's commemoration, which featured a parade of apparatus and a before and after look of the town.
When retired firefighter Richard Smith describes the Great Windsor Fire of 1897, people can't help but be captivated. The fire, which decimated 2/3 of Windsor and left 2,500 people homeless, is still being remembered some 125 years later.
Businesses, schools, churches, homes were quickly engulfed in flame. Just imagine the sight of everything on those streets on fire, the heat, the smoke, the sound of the fire bursting through windows and the wind blowing.
The Windsor Fire Department held a commemorative event on October 16th, one day before the anniversary. A parade featuring modern and antique fire trucks occurred downtown, and there was a display and open house held at the station.
Well, it's all about history. It's about remembering those that fought a great fire that is unimaginable at that time and even in today's standards. It's to reflect about how fires were fought before the evolution of modern equipment, modern firefighting tactics, modern people. It's just all about remembering what happened an age ago that built us to where we are today.
At the time of the Great Windsor Fire, the station was in its infancy. About 40 firefighters battled the blaze, with help arriving by train from Halifax, Kentville, and Hantsport. Representatives from these neighbouring communities attended Sunday's event.
I just wanted to do a quote that I found that I liked, and it said, "Bravery is not in the absence of fear, but the action in the face of fear." A firefighter shows his bravery every time they gear up, and our Windsor Fire Department is operating since 1881.
For the SaltWire Network, this is Carol Morris Underhill.
It's time now for a glimpse of today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon is speaking with St. Mary's criminologist Stephen Schneider about policing and public relations.
And you did a great job of explaining what the evolution was of that terminology of the thin blue line. But does it get complicated? Is this, in your opinion, the result of groups becoming so polarized that it's nearly... the example is Halifax police engaged with a stolen truck. It went through a residential neighborhood. It drove across lawns, and people are going, what are you doing? But on the other hand, they're being criticized for not doing anything in other cases. So it's a real strange time.
Yeah, and certainly, one of the other issues driving sort of negative perceptions of police is just ongoing media coverage and incidents of police brutality against people of color, of Indigenous people. The RCMP has long been accused of being racist, quite frankly, towards Indigenous people, and again, not just the RCMP, but other police forces that have to police Indigenous populations. And of course, as you mentioned, we've seen a number of news stories about police officers wearing that thin blue line patch, which certainly doesn't help with perceptions of impartiality among police, because as you intimated, that thin blue line patch has taken on some racist overtones, and the big fear we have is the radicalization of police officers, and this is the bigger issue of the great threat of radicalization of young white men. We're seeing this in the United States, we're seeing this in Canada with the trucker convoy, and the argument is in recent years that the thin blue line patch has been sort of co-opted by radical far-right groups in response to the emergence of progressive groups like Black Lives Matters or Defund Police that are seen as a threat to police.
And for Sheldon's full conversation, head to the opinion section of saltwire.com. Time now for the Atlantic Sports Wire, presented by Scott Squires.
Sean Freeman is in his second year at St. Mary's University and is in his second year playing for the Huskies men's soccer team. Sean, you're having a great year. You've already tallied 8 goals, 9 points. What's been one or two things that's really helped you with your success this year on the field?
Well, I think after last season, I put in a lot of work this summer. I was running, working out, trying to get more fit and stronger to be able to compete with the physicality in this league. And also just our team's been having a good year this year so far. They're giving me lots of chances, and I'm just trying to get open in the box to try and score.
You're right up there at the top of the standings in the conference with Cape Breton University and UNB. What's been a secret to the team's success this season?
I think just our playing style this year. We're trying to keep the ball more, be more composed, trying to have more patience on the ball and create better chances, more higher quality scoring chances. And I think that's helping us out. It's helping us control the game more.
The Huskies' next game is at home this Wednesday, a 7:15 kickoff versus the visitors from St. FX. In Halifax, I'm Scott Squires for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Sean Freeman comes in, the super sub, to tie the match.
Thank you, Scott. On to weather now to see what's coming up in the forecast. We're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Thanks, Kate. Another beautiful fall day here in the Halifax area. The fog was a bit stubborn in some areas, but temperatures well above seasonal. It's been beautiful. There is some more rain, though, to talk about in the upcoming forecast. This evening, it will become mainly cloudy. We will have a chance of showers developing mainly overnight. That's when we'll also have some fog patches. We'll see the temperature this evening near 14, starting the day near 15 on Tuesday morning. Those fog patches dissipating, otherwise a mainly cloudy start. And then as we head into the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds. We do hold on to that chance of showers, but another well above seasonal day, 20 degrees for the high. That's about 8 degrees above seasonal for this time of year, so a beautiful day. You'll notice a bit of a breeze, though, by the afternoon with a southeast wind of 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. And then more steadier periods of rain develop as we go Tuesday night into Wednesday, and will be heaviest Wednesday night into Thursday. Actually, looks like we could be getting into some significant rainfall amounts, possibly in the range of 30 to 50 plus millimeters, so that's something we'll have to watch. And as well, the winds will be gusty from the southeast, 30 to 60 kilometers per hour, so certainly turning unsettled as we go through the middle of this week. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to SaltWire.com. And you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at SaltWire Today. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.